Personal injury case. I don't think I'm going to be disabled very long. Why should I bother applying for Social Security? Boy, you would be surprised the number of times I've had situations where there have been people who have a personal injury and they talk to their personal injury attorney and their attorney tells them to give me a call for possibly for Social Security disability benefits. And then when I call them, the first thing out their mouth, my attorney told me to call you. I don't know why I'm talking to you because I'm not disabled. And I have to stop. And I'm like, okay. Because a lot of times I just listen very quietly as they make their point. And here's what I share with them. I said, okay, first of all, the fact that you have it in your mind that you are not disabled is great. That typically means you have a motivation and a commitment to improving your condition so that you can return back to your way of life, or at least as close to it as possible. I applaud you. That is the psychological portion. I'm here to tell you about the real world portion. The real world portion is that you don't have a flipping clue how long your condition is going to keep you out of work. You may tell yourself you're going to will yourself to go back in. Great. The mind may be willing, but the body may not be able. Now, the problem most people have when they're in a situation where, especially if an attorney is telling them you need to talk to me, is this attorney is looking at your medical evidence collectively, and they are seeing for themselves that based on the extent of your injuries and your recovery time, it is very possible that you're going to be out of work for 12 months or longer. Just being blunt. And you need to start thinking about compensation during that period of time. The reality is that you're not going to get Social Security right away. But let's pause for a second. Wouldn't you want to be compensated for that period? Let's say that because I've had this happen, where I represented a gentleman. He came to me and he had his personal injury case going on, settled his personal injury case, got a lump sum, and then I represented him and he went back to work about 14 months later. But then he was happy because I was able to get him a retroactive check to also cover the disability period for that period of time he was out of work due to his injury. And I said, think about it like this. You would, and I even told him, you would not have even gotten that money had you not applied. And that may seem kind of weird, but the nice part is that he did apply and he got benefits. I tell people, when people come to me, and I mean those people who are like, I am not disabled. I'm like, okay then. I'm like, I'm not trying to make you feel like you're disabled. The regulation is, do you have a condition that can reasonably be expected, that has either kept you out for 12 months or can be reasonably be expected to keep you out 12 months? The process is not quick. You're not going to get approved right away. But just think about it like this. Most people don't think forward. They're not forward thinking when they're thinking about this stuff. Most people are thinking about the stigma. They're thinking about their way of life. Let me just kind of stop for a second to say this. Anytime there is a disruption in the way you do things, it's traumatic. I mean, seriously. And I'm not talking about, lights go off or anything like that. I'm talking about in your physical well-being. We can't control bills. We can't control money. We can't control what's on cable. We can't control our cars. We like to believe we can control our bodies. When something happens that disrupts our health, that is a uniquely traumatizing experience. And a lot of times when you are being presented with different options, it forces you to look at the reality of your situation. No one wants to accept the fact that they're disabled, especially if you've lived a very proactive and healthy life. The idea that someone is telling you that your condition is preventing you from being able to do the things you used to do is a disheartening statement to accept. And I understand that. But I'm here to tell you this, and this is what my responsibility is as a lawyer. I'm here to look at the real deal. Real deal is that if your condition keeps you out of work for 12 months or longer, You got some jamming ass bills looking at you. And I got news for you. Those bill collectors, I could give a damn about how proud you are about trying to go back to work. Because if your body is not letting you go back to work, you got to start thinking strategically. So this is not a personal decision. This is not a psychological position. This is not even a situation where you're talking about an ego position. This is a strategic position. And you need to start strategically preparing yourself for the reality that if your physical well-being may impact your ability to work for 12 months or longer, you want to make sure you exercise every financial option available to you so that when you do get compensated, it's going to cover all that time period. And hey, nothing else, if you are able to return back to work, at least you will have a couple of dollars that will help you get back on your feet, not only physically, emotionally, and spiritually, but financially as well.